Okay, welcome everyone to the session on LibLynx system and the live demonstrations on the functions and features. So before we proceed, we'll go through some housekeepings. So your audio and videos are being turned off during the presentations. Any questions, please feel free to post it in the chat box. This session is recorded and the videos and slides created will be circulated to all the registrants after this event. And if there's any questions that you would want to ask after the webinar, email them to the marketing-apac inbox. So now I'll pass over to Katharina.
Hello everyone, my name is Kat Baier. I'm the head of the customer service and sales operations team here at Gruyter, and I will give you a live demonstration of the admin module of LibLynx, and also we'll have a quick look at the Gruyter website and the My Products page. This isn't going to take very long because it's not that complex, but it is a live demonstration, so I'm hoping that the gods are with me. So I'm going to share my screen, which I hope you can see now. You should be able to see LibLynx. When you log into LibLynx, you will see a list of accounts that you are an administrator of. So most of you will only see one account like I do here, but some, if you are, for example, working with a consortium or another construct, then you will have different accounts that you can choose. The rest then is fairly simple. You get straight taken to the counter statistics, where you get a range of options to choose what you are looking for. First of all, the drop-down in the middle shows you the different reports that are available. Because I am using quite a dummy account that isn't used that much, you will not see all of the available counter 5 statistics in this particular account, but they're all there for you to choose from. Further down, and this is one of the reasons why we wanted to briefly show you all as well, are the historical usage statistics that we have imported from our last platform. So we launched the current Gruyter platform with the LibLynx backend in February of this year. So anything before then is from the old Gruyter website and the old AMS system, which some of you may know. For 2020, we have counter 5 and counter 4. For 2019, we only have counter 4, and for 2021, we only have counter 5 statistics. So there's a brief overlap where we have both, but from now onwards, we only have counter 5 statistics. If I choose one, let's go with a book report for the legacy import that we have done. You can choose any date back to 2019, and then it brings up the report for you, and the download option here in Excel is at the top. The same with counter 5. If I choose, for example, the title master report, it gives me another option to filter the report a little bit more. Most of you will be aware of those filters, but I'll point them out anyway. For example, here you can choose whether you want to look at books or at journals. We don't really have any newspapers on the site. So if I go with books, you can see at the bottom that it updated immediately with your new selection. Here you also have the option to include or exclude open access titles. So if you only want the licensed content, then you can remove the OA Gold and it loads up a new report for you. Again, the download is here and gives you an Excel spreadsheet. The So the counter 5 for 2021 includes 1 month from the old platform. So January is also merged into those reports, because again, January came from a different platform. But hopefully you shouldn't see any discrepancies in your statistics. If you spot anything weird, do let us know, because then we can have a look and see if anything went wrong with the import, for example, because it was a highly complex process. What does fiscal year mean? I'm not entirely sure. I presume it is calendar year in this case. So you have the calendar year. I think these are basically all of the sames are January to December, because they presume that the fiscal year runs from January. So year to date, the previous year, the previous financial year, and the previous year are in essence very much the same thing. Okay, so to collapse the filters, you just click the button again, and you can choose another report here. So this is all that LibLynx does for you as librarians. If you have any changes to make, please email service@gruyter.com for any shibboleth updates, new administrators, and IP ranges. But we would also prefer you to use the IP registry for that, because we work with them, and then we can get your updated IPs directly into our system rather than having to manually input them. Okay, so if I go over to the Gruyter website, I wanted to point out a link between LibLynx and the Gruyter website that you as librarians can't see in the background, but this is where you can see some of the, or not some, all of your entitlements for the Gruyter. So if you click on the menu point in the top right-hand corner here, you can see that I'm currently logged in with institutional access for TCS de Gruyter. And I can also be logged in as 2 different accounts. If I have a personal account, for example, as well, I can use that, or I can even, I think, log in as another institutional account with remote access. Here you can see the link to my products. And in this case, it's relatively short, but this is something that every user can see. So you can always point them to the My Products page. And here they will see everything that you have licensed as an institution. There are a few different entries. You have the ebook packages, or if you have an EBA package, that will be at the top here. You can expand it, and then it shows you how many titles are included. And if you use the search package content link, it takes you to those titles on the website. Down here, you also have some online databases. And if I had journals in this account, they would also be listed as individual journals. So for example, journal of, no, I can't think of any, CCLM, for example, there would be a link that says search package content, and it would take you straight through to CCLM. So if I just demonstrate that, you can see that there are 289 books in my collection, and they're here. If I just want to look at books, I'll choose those and remove the chapters, and then it gives me all of the titles, and I can then further sort them or filter them by using the topics here. So this is one way of getting to ebooks. If I look at the databases, here it is very similar. I get taken to the database. It includes all of the entries, but if I just want to see the actual database, then I choose online reference and then can search through the database within the database search rather than the search for the Gruyter at the top. That might also be quite useful. So top right-hand corner, my products. Some of the other packages are slightly more random book collections that we put together, because if we have thousands of individual entries on this site, it would slow down the performance of the authentication system. So we've packaged them up into collections of up to 5,000 titles. They're slightly more random, but again, you can search the content by clicking on it, and then you get taken to the individual books that you can then filter by subject area, for example. And that is roughly it with regards to the main functions of LibLynx and the De Gruyter My Products page. I'll just have another look at the questions. So there is the there is a question, free to read category would cover book titles that have been converted to open access post-publication. Are we aware of any other category that this would cover? Okay, let me have a look. I'll just see what comes up. I'm not entirely sure. There is some potentially free access on here that might be if we have made a title freely available, or if it's a part of the title that is available anyway, like the table of contents or any front matter. So this could be classed under the free to read. The encyclopedia of the Bible and its reception would be in the database master report. So that is one of the options at the top here that pulls databases, and there's also the DB1 and DB2 report. And again, you can filter this out in the top bit here, but it still counts as what we classify as database content. How do you log into LibLynx? If you are not yet set up as an admin, please send Lervinia your email address and your account, your institution that you belong to, and then we will add you in. Then you will receive an email with a link to finish your setup. So you can then click on the link and choose your password. And that way you will be able to log in. The link in general is connect.liblinks.com, but you will need a username and password that we have included to make sure that you can access it. There are also a few other publishers that use LibLynx, Brill, Emerald, and there's a third one that I can't remember right now. But if you have content from those publishers, they will appear in this side panel as an option. So you can hop between different publishers as well. The last thing I hadn't mentioned yet is Sushi, speaking of different publishers, which is at the top here. You can enable Sushi, and then that brings back the API key that you will need for your system. If you've used Sushi with AMS before, then you will need a new API key because they have changed. But again, we can create one, or you can create one for yourself and copy it out, or we can create one for you and send it over. Okay, any more questions? Is it possible for consortia leaders to see all reports individual? That depends on how the consortium is set up. If you have been added to all of the individual accounts as an administrator, then yes, you will be able to do that. We can also provide sushi for a consortia, so a list of accounts and then the relevant sushi links. But we would need to know which accounts and which option you prefer, and then we can do that as well. At the moment, there is no other way of creating that. But if you, for example, were set up as a consortia administrator with different accounts, you would see them listed here. So instead of just having TCS de Gruyter, I could see TCS1, TCS2, TCS3 as a list here, and then choose. There is no bulk download option though, so it would have to be individual. Any more questions? No? Then that's fine. I mean, do email us if you have any questions that you remember afterwards, if you want to be set up as an administrator, or if you have any other trouble. But otherwise, as I said, I'll keep it nice and short, and I would stop at this point. Lervinia, back over to you.
Okay, thanks. So there doesn't seem to be any more questions. So we will end the session now. So anybody with regards to LibLynx account or about the systems, I've left my email in the chat box, Lervinia.swee@thegruyter.com, or you're welcome to contact the customer service as well. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thank you.